Good morning, everyone. All energized? Because we are. After your experiences in the last session, we felt that we are not starting from zero. We are not starting from negative, but we are starting from a positive. Because all of you have found inspiring people, inspiring things, inspiring policies, inspiring projects, which by themselves are solutions. And here we are to find solutions, and I think we are already at it. So what we will do is we will also share a Google Sheet with Yuan will do, and we will like you to fill them up with the solutions that you have come across. The more the merrier. You can of course submit more than one, and they do not have to be very innovative, they do not have to be rocket science, but they are different things which are not normal, that sometimes they question what is normal. So right now we will focus on things which are different, or machines which are different, that has been made by people, policies, projects, or anything which is different. So we will start with the documentation. Juan will circulate a sheet with you, and we will do it in the class after the drill, so that we understand which are the questions which are, maybe we thought you will get it, but because our intentions might not be translated that well. So we'll rework on it. Okay.
But
So I will.
share this afternoon.
Yeah?
Is that we share this afternoon?
Yes. After the break?
No, this afternoon.
This afternoon? Okay. Okay. So we'll do it after this afternoon. So now Professor Gupta will start his session. And if you have any questions from the last session, we can start with that also. Any observation? Any question? Yeah? Okay.
Good morning. I have sent a presentation to everyone on autonomy and agency, which you can circulate, because I realized that some of you were asking those questions. And the matrix that we made, if autonomy is high or low, if agency is high and low. I've also given references to literature. If some of you want to read more about autonomy, different kinds of autonomy, you want to read about different kinds of agency, I've given at least 2 references in that PPT, which he will share with you. And if you wish, and if time permits, we can also bring it in the class today itself. We can discuss it again. The issue that we have to raise now is how do we meet the unmet needs? And why do these needs remain unmet? That is the first question that we'll ask. So there are many reasons. I will share some. Then you will add to those, because not all reasons for need not being met may occur to us. So we'll jointly work out what are the other reasons. So for example, lack of articulation by the society. I have a need, but I don't tell you that. I don't have faith in you. I don't trust you. Or I don't think you are going to do anything if I tell you. I have lost confidence, or I don't have the confidence to begin with. Many communities know what they need, and yet they do not mention. We will try to see what is this dynamics, why does it happen. The historical deprivation sometimes makes people become quiet. They accept the status quo as it is. They take things as they are and lead their life. lack of policy support from the state sometimes. Day before yesterday, we discussed that there are some places where drinking water was a problem. Now, after such a long time, so many years, obviously the policymakers of that region may not have been as responsive as in other places they have been. That could be one reason why needs remain unmet. Limited purchasing power, and therefore, because of poverty, I can't solve my problem by going to market. Market may provide solution. There may be private schools which can give good education, but I can't afford the fees of that school. And government schools are not there or are not good enough. What do I do? So that is another reason why sometimes the needs remain unmet. The delivery system is weak. Policymakers have good intention. They make a policy that all the teachers in the school must teach properly, but some of them may not do their job well. There may be corruption, there may be leakages. The resources meant for the people don't reach them. And that could be one reason why the needs remain unmet. Many of you mentioned in your program, you have tried to bring in entrepreneurial opportunities. But these were not there most places. It still may not be there. So that is one reason why needs remain unmet. I may have the capacity to meet these needs, but I have not been given opportunities. The example of cocoa leaf was a good one. There was a knowledge available, but opportunity for making products out of the cocoa leaf were not there. Once they became available, people started making them. So the lack of entrepreneurial opportunities. The watchdog function is weak, or we don't listen to them. There are people who are complaining about problems. We treat them as a pain in the neck. We treat them as troublemaker. Yeah? We want them to be out of our sight. They make our life difficult because they demand too much. They tell us where the things are not working. Media can play this role. NGOs or voluntary organizations can play this role. Activists can play this role. But no government anywhere in the world likes such people, generally. Because these people tell us where we are weak, where we are not working. So watchdog function may be weak, therefore needs remain unmet. And of course, harsh terrain, north of Colombia, you mentioned there was a desert region. Very difficult to reach. Transportation may be weak. Communication may be weak. Internet may not be there. Newspapers may not reach. Even the radio or television may not be there much. Difficult to reach there. That might be one reason why many needs remain unmet. In mountain areas also the same problem may arise. Or flood-prone areas, that problem may arise. Now, these are some of the reasons we could think about. Are there reasons that you know of because of which needs remain unmet, which we should add? Any one of you?
Yes.
Sí, no, yo creo que una de las razones es que el sistema es inequitativo, o sea, no es solo la voluntad de las personas, sino que es estructural. Sí, es decir, estamos en un sistema que genera más exclusión, donde se privilegia, digamos, ciertos sectores económicos, y ese modelo que tenemos hoy, ha aumentado las brechas, lo vemos a nivel global, ha aumentado las brechas, la acumulación de la riqueza en un sector mínimo de la población y la exclusión de grandes mayorías, que es lo que se llama el precariado, ¿cierto? Entonces tenemos unas condiciones estructurales que no solamente dependen de la voluntad de las personas.
Gracias también porque son soluciones que no son duraderas, son momentáneas y también no son asequibles.
Las barreras de comunicación, ejemplo, en comunidades indígenas, a veces el concepto, digamos, de las palabras o de lo que ellos dicen es diferente a como nosotros lo entendemos en español. Entonces, nosotros creemos que hay unas necesidades, pero para ellos es otra cosa.
Pensaría que para nuestro contexto también es importante no dejar de lado el conflicto armado, que ha tenido distintas expresiones y ha limitado justamente esa presencia estatal o ese acceso a oportunidades o la ampliación de comunicación justamente que mencionaban hace un momento, y pues lo que hace es profundizar esas brechas y esa inequidad.
Muy buenos días. Es posible que sea una práctica cultural, estar en necesidades básicas siempre, culturalmente se vuelve una oportunidad para cubrir algunas deficiencias y ser pues frecuentemente beneficiado por estas soluciones un poco golondrinas que van, llegan, solucionan y se van y luego vuelve a suceder. Eso pasa mucho en la gestión del riesgo de desastres.
Buenos días. Yo creo que una necesidad insatisfecha o las necesidades insatisfechas también se basan en Colombia, en que hay personas o que social o culturalmente se cree que hay personas que valen más que otras. Y eso se ve con el racismo, con la discriminación hacia las comunidades étnicas. Eso en parte define un poco la inequidad que existe en el país.
Buenos días. Dos cosas. Uno, primero, porque sí se presenta en muchos territorios una politización de la forma como se entregan las ayudas o las políticas que se destinan para las poblaciones. Y número dos, porque también cuando en medio del conflicto aparecen actores cooperantes que, por ejemplo, quieren brindar algún tipo de respuesta para dar solución a esas múltiples necesidades, no tienen en cuenta el contexto territorial hacia donde están pensadas o dirigidas, y lo que muchas veces llegan a hacer es un poco hasta de acción con daño, o no permiten que sean, por ejemplo, soluciones aceptadas o reconocidas por las poblaciones.
¿Todas? No. ¿Ya? Sí, ya.
Muy buenos días. Hay un tema que quizás pudiera ser una base de por qué hay todavía tantas necesidades insatisfechas, y es porque los líderes no tienen una suficiente representación de sus comunidades, una legitimidad de la base social. Entonces desconocen o no les interesa estar llevando soluciones a sus comunidades, y esa pérdida de valores y esa pérdida como de esos lazos de solidaridad con sus mismas comunidades ha hecho también que se permee el tema político y el desarrollo de infraestructura y el tema de vías, tema logístico y todos los planes y programas que pueden salir desde la política pública.
Buenos días. Hay dos factores que son reiterativos en los territorios. Uno de ellos es la corrupción, donde la desviación de fondos es evidente y obviamente los sobrecostos en obras que se quedan a medias. Y lo otro, creo que lo mencionaron, Molano le decía dejadez, cuando se normaliza la pobreza y la situación y la comunidad no hace por gestionar soluciones. Y lo último que quisiera mencionar es la falta de gobernanza, esa relación que existe entre los gobiernos y las comunidades, esos links, esos puntos de articulación donde el gobierno da respuesta sostenible a las necesidades de una comunidad.
Buenos días. Yo creo que hay algo que es muy importante también y es la falta de articulación entre nuestra visión de desarrollo y la visión de desarrollo que hay en las comunidades. Normalmente, cuando digo nuestra visión, me refiero a la visión occidental, no necesariamente tiene en cuenta, por ejemplo, la necesidad del diálogo intercultural para entender cuál es la visión de desarrollo, por ejemplo, específicamente para los pueblos étnicos, que tienen una visión de desarrollo distinta a la nuestra. Entonces, creo que nuestra manera, en muchas ocasiones, de imponer lo que para nosotros está bien, pues evidentemente se distancia y se separa de lo que el territorio realmente necesita definido por ellos, o sea, que surja desde el territorio.
Bueno, lo mencionaron al inicio que es como la articulación de la sociedad, ¿cierto? Pero acá es como no es una sola causa, es una cadena de todas estas causas, o sea, falta de presencia del Estado, falta de educación, no se identifica como la pertinencia de las intervenciones en los territorios. Y esto lo que lleva es a una atomización de los esfuerzos de cada una de las entidades, y yo creo que se resume un poco en la planificación de todas estas intervenciones con una adecuada lectura del contexto. Entonces es más que todo pues como eso.
Buenos días. Sí, como dice aquí la compañera de la dictó, falta la articulación y empezando por los mismos interventores, las mismas agencias, bien sea de cooperación o el Estado, falta la misma articulación interna entre ellas cuando llegan a hacer las intervenciones con las comunidades. Y la formulación que sea desde el territorio, una cosa de pronto de las herramientas que tenemos de internet, los informes, cantidades que hay, y otra cosa es la realidad total que vive un territorio. De pronto los libros dicen una cosa y en la red de internet dice otra, pero en el territorio es muy diferente lo que se vive, lo que se siente con sus particularidades y sus dinámicas propias de cada territorio. Gracias.
Yo agregaría que tal vez falta también una visión de innovación en muchas de las cosas que hacemos quienes trabajamos en buscar justamente apoyar soluciones para las comunidades. Una visión, digamos, que permita identificar nuevas formas de resolver los problemas, teniendo en cuenta que hacer más de lo mismo probablemente ya no funciona, ¿sí? Y eso implica, por supuesto, reconocer también lo que las comunidades están haciendo por su cuenta y otros tipos de factores que eventualmente tanto el Estado, el sector privado o nosotros como cooperación pudiéramos llevar a cabo. Pero es eso, una falta de visión en términos de innovación.
Dos más que no sé si se repitieron, pero creo que también las políticas públicas cortoplacistas, de corto plazo, y en muchos casos está asociado a que los instrumentos de planeación nacionales o territoriales evidentemente desconocen los avances del anterior gobierno. Entonces eso hace falta, eso implica que no haya continuidad de algunas políticas o programas o acciones que van encaminadas justamente a disminuir las brechas o a suplir las necesidades de la sociedad. Y lo han dicho, pero creo que también es importante el desconocimiento de contextos territoriales que son muy diferenciados en el país y de las estructuras organizativas de las comunidades. Si uno no entiende el territorio y no sabe que en efecto la entrada a tal comunidad o a tal región o son las plataformas interculturales o son las juntas, dependiendo de cada contexto, se complica mucho más la llegada de las acciones o la construcción de estas acciones.
I have written, but I can also take a photograph maybe. Wait.
So there is no doubt that all the reasons that you have mentioned are relevant. There are 4 or 5 kinds of reason: cultural, institutional, structural, behavioral, and attitudinal. So you have said that sometimes people don't want to change. They have adjusted to the problems. They have adapted to the problems. Mind you, we also do that. Many times we adjust and adapt to the problem rather than transcending them. So this is not the problem only of communities, it is the problem of we, the intellectual, the professionals, the bureaucrats, scientists. We also have this problem. We take problems as given and we adjust to them. This is how things happen. And we may not make enough effort. So we will study that today. Our agency, we discussed the other day, we have autonomy, but we don't use our agency because we have adjusted to the problem. So this is a very important point that came out. The structures of the community, organizational structure of community requires maybe meeting the elders, meeting women at a different time when they have free. When we go, they are busy with the work. At that time, they cannot come to the meeting. And we do not go at the time when they are free. So we don't meet them. So the community organization, as you mentioned rightly, how the community organizes itself, we may not understand and therefore we may not know the real needs. You also mentioned that many times the real needs are not represented in the documents, in the policy documents. The reports, the policies do not know real situation in the region, in the territories, as you mentioned. Education, of course. But one of the things that came out many times was articulation, and I will spend some time on that. How do we ensure that people articulate their needs properly? What do we do? And we have done some research on that. And I will discuss with you the articulation response model. Just as in the economics, we have demand and supply. When the demand goes up, supply is low, prices increase. When demand is low, supply is high, prices decrease. So price increase when supply is low, and price decrease when supply is high. When farmers produce too much of crop and there's not enough demand, farmers suffer because prices come down. This is in economics. But in political economy, how do we understand the supply and demand of needs? And this is what I will discuss next. Did I use a permanent marker? Did I use the wrong marker? So one of the first problem that we face when dealing with the needs of the community is many times community doesn't feel the need. How do we convert unfelt needs into felt need? We want justice, we want peace, we want participatory democracy, we want clean water, we want good nutrition, we want children to go to school. These are needs that we think people should have. But many times, they don't feel the need. And if they feel, they don't articulate. What do we do so that they articulate? So that they will speak up about what they feel the actual need of the community is. Sometimes I articulate my need, one person, but we don't collectively aggregate. If one student in a class complains, teacher may ignore. If half the class complains, teacher will have to pay attention. If one person complains, government will maybe ignore. The delivery system will ignore. But if the whole village protest, whole community protest, people will have to pay attention. So many times, needs are not aggregated. They are not collectivized. They are scattered. They are disaggregated. Now we come to demand side. Now there are people who have felt the need, who have articulated it, who have aggregated it. Can they register the need with the supply side, with the government, with the bureaucracy? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And assume for a minute that it is registered with the government, with the state. Is it responded? I know that there is a violence, you want peace, but I'm not doing anything about it. I'm worried, I'm afraid, I'm not strong enough, I have no solution to give you, or any other reason. So response may be there, may not be there. And response may be satisfactory or dissatisfactory. I'm happy with the response or I'm not happy with the response. As a community, I feel satisfied that my need you have taken note of and you have given me a solution which is good. I'm happy with that. Or I'm not happy with that. Both possibilities are there. Every time there's a response, satisfactory response, more unfelt need become felt. More needs get articulated. More needs get aggregated. More needs get registered. Every time there is a good job, there is a satisfactory response, there is a good delivery of the solution, people demand more. Isn't it? They expect more, they articulate more, they feel the need for more. Society becomes aspirational. It aspires for better things. That is the wonderful thing in democracy. If people aspire more, there's a pressure on everybody to perform better. The aspirational society, or society which aspires for better future, depends upon how demanding people are. Even in companies, we always say, a demanding client is the biggest asset of a company. A client who wants more forces the company to add new features. When the first phone was invented by Nokia, it didn't have many features. People wanted more, companies gave more, and more, and more. Today, phone has replaced camera, isn't it? We don't carry camera anymore. It is the complete office. Because people demand it, clients demand it. Same way, if the people demand, and if the state is responsive, and that's what I think all of us are here for, how to make state more responsive, how to help a state to become more responsive. Because we know every time there's a good response, there is more demand. When we were discussing that example of conflict of the two children, one whose father was killed by another child's uncle, the idea came up, maybe there should be such a school in conflict-prone region where children of the conflicted families will study together. That can be a response. We cannot do anything about the adults. That generation is gone. Can we influence the mind of the young kids? When they grow up, they should grow up with solidarity, with love, with respect for each other. So, the responsiveness of the state depends upon how well the need has been articulated, registered, aggregated, and registered with the supply system. Many of you have mentioned that the needs mentioned in the report are not the real needs because we have not understood. There are different filters. One of the filters is, I take note of those needs which I can supply, I can meet. As a community, you demand that the health center should have modern diagnostic tools. And the health department says, I don't have budget, I don't have money, I cannot provide. So I don't even write this need in my record. I don't say that people want it. People actually want it. So many times, our capacity, limited capacity to supply, becomes a filter for not recognizing the real needs. Do you agree with that? Is it true? Sometimes it reflects poorly on us. And therefore, I do not take note of it. If I share the unmet needs, my bosses may think I'm a poor implementer, I'm a poor officer, I'm a poor executive. So I don't tell them that needs are not met. Everything is fine, people are happy. Only when there's a large scale protest or violence, then people realize, no, everything was not okay. So one reason why there may be conflict is because we may not have met the real needs for a long time. Maybe. Yes.
Sí, escuchando al profesor, pensaba en que regularmente pensamos las soluciones como algo que pasa en un momento, ¿no? En un periodo determinado, o que la solución es una cosa, y creo que debemos cambiar esa concepción pensando en que son soluciones vivas, no es algo que pasa de una sola vez, que si lo pensamos así, podríamos con una solución esconder las necesidades. Doy un ejemplo. Hace 20 años que venía a Bogotá para tomar un colectivo, tenía que pararme en la mitad de la calle, ¿no? Ponerle la mano, entrar al colectivo de cualquier manera. Una solución fue Transmilenio, y fue una solución, digamos, costosa, fuerte, que aún hoy es difícil sostener en Bogotá. Sin embargo, hoy, la gente que tal vez no vivió esa experiencia anterior, no la ve como una solución, sino como un problema que no está resolviendo las necesidades de movilidad. ¿Sí? Sin embargo, para el Estado es muy difícil tener una solución viva. Y eso hace que algo que de pronto en algún momento se recibió bien por la comunidad, después de pocos años se ha visto como un problema y no como la respuesta a una necesidad.
Very true. When solution is not dynamically, what you're saying is solution is not dynamically changed or improved. At one time it is a solution, but needs have changed, but solution has not changed, isn't it? And that is the problem. You are absolutely right. It's a very dynamic world, things are changing. But if our solutions don't keep pace with the need, changes in the need, we will become irrelevant, isn't it? We'll become irrelevant. Yes, please.
Muchas gracias. Yo creo que en el ejemplo que nos menciona el colega, vemos un claro ejemplo de que las soluciones deben irse actualizando, deben tener seguimiento, debe existir ese acompañamiento de parte de la persona o de las instituciones que están implementando dichas iniciativas para que no queden obsoletas en el tiempo. O sea, el mundo va avanzando, la población también va aumentando, así que estas soluciones deben actualizarse y así que en las instituciones deben haber, digamos, un área o una persona específica haciéndole seguimiento a estas. Muchas gracias.
Very good point. Very good point. That you said that our skills to notice the solution should also be updated from time to time. Very good. Yes, please.
Buenos días. Bueno, yo tengo una pregunta frente a las necesidades que no se sienten. Es una pregunta ética. En ese sentido, el Estado y nosotros, digamos, como generadores de soluciones, debemos generarle esa necesidad a las comunidades. ¿Es ético hacerlo o no es ético hacerlo? ¿Qué sucede si esas necesidades realmente no quieren ser cubiertas? Gracias.
A very, very relevant point, a very difficult but very relevant point. Should I make people feel the need for high quality education when I know I cannot provide it? I would say yes. One of you mentioned that the mother ran away. She felt the need for better education than what was available in the community, isn't it? Let people run away to the places where solutions are available. If they don't find them in the community, who are we to constrain their choices? Our role is to expand the choices of the people. Development means more choices, longer time frame. That is sustainability. I should think of far future. The lady, the mother of that lady, felt that if I am educated, I can educate my children. She thought of her children when she was young herself. So she went for getting education. And that's the reason the lady is in this room, isn't it? Because somebody must have made her realize that education is the way to go. She must have realized that some people who got education could progress in their life. So I would say, yes, it can be a source of frustration. People can feel frustrated when they are made aware of the needs which system is not providing. You are right. But how will system change? How will pressure on the state increase if people don't demand? So I think keeping people in a state of satisfaction with the poverty, satisfaction with the low level of need is what repressive regimes do. But democratic regimes don't do that. Democratic regimes know that if I don't fulfill, somebody else will get elected after 5 years. You have had a change in the government. That change in the government is a reflection, probably, that people are demanding more. Isn't it? So I think the ethical dilemma is there, but if I have to err on the side of more information rather than less, I will err on the side of more information, more choice, more empowerment, not less. Even though I know my resources are limited, my capability is limited, my power is limited, I know that. But I cannot decide the destiny of the community or some people in the community who have the courage to take control of their destiny. Society changes because of such people. Yes, please. Sure. Mike.
Yes, I have been taught by him for 15 years, of course. He is my professor. So I see when you say not felt, it is also linked to the aspirations of the community, what I aspire. And we get aspiration by our exposure. So if we are keeping the community unexposed, you live in a well, you live in a cocoon, and I don't care. That is one response of the state. Second is, I give you an option. I offer you a buffet. If you are hungry, you will eat. Right? So it is also felt or unfelt is also a function of aspiration and exposure.
Sí, es que yo creo que estamos hablando de la comunidad como si la comunidad fuera un solo ente. Las comunidades tienen intereses y también tienen distintos interlocutores. Por ejemplo, nosotros tuvimos un programa que tenía soluciones innovadoras y la comunidad definía cuál era el problema. Para los primeros interlocutores, que eran los presidentes de las juntas, los jefes de las asociaciones, el problema era la ganadería. Sin embargo, cuando levantamos el diagnóstico encontramos que el nivel de coliformes, de contaminación del agua era altísimo. El nivel permitido es 0 y en esa comunidad era 5.000 partes por millón. Entonces comenzamos a hablar con las mujeres y claro, sus hijos se enferman, etc. Entonces hubo una discusión muy fuerte en la comunidad porque los hombres querían que fueran la ganadería, obviamente ellos devengan los ingresos, y las mujeres querían que fuera el agua para que sus hijos no se enfermaran. Entonces la comunidad no es homogénea. Hay distintas necesidades, hay distintas prioridades y hay que poner todas esas voces, y creo que nosotros tampoco somos actores pasivos que esperamos a que la comunidad decida. Nosotros tenemos que dar elementos, poner discusiones, brindar alternativas y claro, ellos escogen cuál alternativa, ellos definen cuál es su opción, pero nosotros tenemos que poner el valor agregado como agencia de desarrollo. Entonces, pienso que la comunidad no es homogénea, tiene intereses, tiene conflictos y nosotros también nos movemos en medio de esos intereses y conflictos. Eso quería decir.
Bueno, hay una mirada muy importante con lo que acaba de decir Claudia, y el tema es que nosotros como organismos de cooperación tenemos que incidir en que las cosas pasen, ¿no? Específicamente orientando esas conversaciones para que la gente vea ese anhelo de otras cosas que pudieran tener y que van muy en su vocación, en sus líneas y en sus proyectos, digamos, que desarrollo propios. Colombia es un universo completo con una cantidad de cosas diferentes, culturas, etnias, climas. Entonces, creería yo que a partir de esa visión uno debe entender más el territorio de una manera diversificada, diferencial, y en esas políticas, así como ustedes los dicen, la comunidad debe exigir, sí, pero hoy en día esa exigencia se volvió una medición desde los entes de control, que también ha sido una especie de autotrampa, en donde el mismo sistema, por cumplir, dice vamos a llegar a más territorios, vamos a cubrir más familias, pero llegamos con 2 pesos. Entonces las soluciones son muy parciales, muy poco profundas, y realmente no estamos cubriendo las necesidades de la población. Solo como por cumplirle al sistema con unos indicadores, pero al final, cuando yo voy a mirar el territorio, no estoy dejando capacidades, no estoy dejando absolutamente comunidades organizadas, por el contrario, estoy aumentando esa discriminación que muchos de mis colegas están diciendo hoy acá, en donde me voy por los que más me pueden estar haciendo presión política y social en un momento dado. Entonces voy a calmar estos procesos acá y voy a dejar. Entonces el tema es bastante complejo cuando el mismo sistema se autorreplica. Entonces en una democracia uno creería que esos procesos deberían tener una continuidad para mejorar, y por el contrario, estamos viendo que cada gobierno es un proceso mesiánico en donde todo está mal y hay que mejorarlo. ¿Por qué razón tenemos que cambiar cosas que puedan estar mejorándose y las volvemos de para atrás? Entonces esos son, digamos, que problemas profundos, fuertes, y van muy de la mano con lo que les comentaba en la intervención anterior, y es la legitimidad y la fidelidad de los intereses de los líderes con sus comunidades en función de sus valores, ¿sí? Ahí es un problema ético, un problema de responsabilidad, un problema también de estar vigilantes como comunidades alrededor de esos planes y esas políticas y esos trabajos que están haciendo en liderazgo.
Before I come to you, both of you are saying one very important. Both of you are saying one important thing. Our values, the values of the outsiders, the value of the program managers, the value of the intervention agency are part of the problem. Who do I listen to? Do I listen to the women who were saying pollution level is very high? Or do I listen to the leader of the community for whom the problem was something else? So therefore, please appreciate that the problems of the communities are not isolated from our problems, contradictions in our philosophy, our conduct, our organization. One good thing which is happening in this course is that you come from different segments of UNDP. And what the lab is trying to do is to say, look, we need to work together. We need to collaborate and not see it in segmented manner, isn't it? If we don't collaborate, we won't encourage communities to collaborate. The communities can see through our segmented approach. And I think a collaborative approach will bring richer insight. It will make us sensitive to a problem that is not in my domain, but the problem needs to be solved. So I'll come back and tell my colleague, look, this project in this region, while I will do my role, but your role is more important. Why don't you join hands with me? And new kinds of interdisciplinary, interdepartmental projects will start emerging then. Isn't it? That, I think, is one of the lessons from the recent conversation we had in the room, that when we want to see the contradictions, the heterogeneity of the community, there is a heterogeneity in this room also. Isn't it? There are interests in this room too. And therefore, it is useful to be sensitive to those contradictions that we see in the community in our own structure. Yes, please.
No me quería referir tanto al tema de política pública, sino a los proyectos de desarrollo que tienen recursos de cooperación, porque es, digamos, en la Agencia Presidencial de Cooperación donde yo trabajo, nuestro principal foco de interés, y es el tema de la sostenibilidad que ustedes ahorita hablaban en las soluciones a las necesidades. Nosotros siempre tenemos esa pregunta, participamos en muchos escenarios de evaluación de proyectos, de seguimiento a proyectos de desarrollo pequeños y grandísimos de millones de dólares y euros, y siempre la pregunta es por la sostenibilidad de las soluciones. Entonces aquí han hablado de capacidades, de, digamos, cómo observar esas soluciones en un marco de tiempo. Y eso me parece importante, y es cómo las necesidades y las soluciones se tienen que ver cambiantes, pero también en un periodo de tiempo futuro, y cómo nosotros resolvemos esas preguntas de cómo resolver necesidades, y si es solo una fórmula de si hay 0 provisión de soluciones, ahorita tengo 100. No, o sea, cómo verlo en un marco de tiempo futuro, esa resolución o esa respuesta a unas necesidades, no solamente a nivel comunitario, de proyectos pequeños, sino también de proyectos de desarrollo grandes que beneficien, por ejemplo, a nuestro país, que es un país de renta media alta. Y ahí creo que hay una pregunta que es difícil para nosotros de resolver. Siempre estamos con la duda, independientemente del escenario, siempre está esa dificultad de bueno, ¿y la sostenibilidad qué? ¿Cómo pensamos en la sostenibilidad? Y a veces son, digamos, fondos que benefician a muchas comunidades con proyectos pequeños, pero siempre está esa pregunta, sea con el sistema de Naciones Unidas o con actores bilaterales o actores públicos, no importa, siempre está ese problema de cómo pensar la sostenibilidad de esas soluciones.
Yes, sustainability is an issue because our framework is short-term, 2-year project, 3-year project sometimes. And the society has to survive in 2 generations, 3 generations, 4 generations, 20 years, 40 years, 60 years. I want to look after my grandchildren, 3 generations. My 20 year, next 20 year, next 20 year, 60 years. So the time frame of a farmer, of a livestock herder or a craft person is about 60 years. My time frame is 2 to 3 years. But I can trigger processes, particularly entrepreneurial processes, which can have a life of their own. I'll give you one example. Colombia has a lot of ICT, computer industry, some little bit of biotech industry and other industries. They attract venture capital. Venture capital looks at 30% interest per year, 20 to 30%. They want to recover their money in 3 years. They will never reach the communities, because communities work with low rate of interest, long time frame, high discount rate. Those of you who have economics background know that when discount rate is high, you will have small return, short time frame. So if we want sustainability, we should have low discount rate. Low discount rate means low return, which means long time period to repay the loan or they can recover the investment. We can create such mechanism When in India we created National Innovation Foundation in 2000, I told the bankers, we need a micro venture innovation fund at 5% rate of interest, 5% rate of interest. We will give loan. And if people fail, we will write off. If they succeed, they will pay back. No stamp paper, no legal documentation, one-page agreement, simple, sign, that's it. During COVID, Anamika had handled microventure fund, innovation fund for about 24 investees. During COVID, no communication possible, no transportation possible, only by email or phone. We understood the need, transferred the money to their account. Most of the people paid back. So what we are saying is sustainability requires new instruments of financing, new instruments of cooperation, new instruments of collaboration. Those instruments are not the ones which are popular in the marketplace. But we have to invent them. When we invented a hybrid IP system, intellectual property system, we said we will file the patent, but not enforce it against a fellow farmer, fellow mechanic, fellow entrepreneur. No. Copy. People-to-people copying is allowed and encouraged. People-to-people copying is allowed and encouraged. People-to-company, no. Big company must pay the license fee and then take the innovation. But for common people, copy it as much as you want. Because right to life takes priority over rights to property. I must survive first. Only then I can accumulate capital. So what you're saying is very important. That short time frame of projects of UNDP and long time frame in which solutions have to sustain, how to reconcile the two. And we can reconcile by inventing new instruments, new ways of partnership, where we will create capacity within 2 to 3 years for people to sustain it, for people to then manage it. We'll build linkages, linkages with market, linkages with science and technology institutions, linkages with communication people. We will build these linkages. Through these linkages, community will sustain in future when we have withdrawn. I think our role is in building the ecosystem, and I'll come to that next. Yes, so we developed the concept of technology commons where people to people copying and using innovation is allowed. People to commercial organization through licensing. Simple. We can't use the Western model of strong IP right, of individual right, not letting anybody else copy it. That doesn't work in our society. It's not suitable for us. All the solutions that ACLab has documented, large number of them are copyable and are allowed to copy actually. People are copying them. Few are protected by IP, and there also I would say we have to negotiate with them. Can they give one PISO license right to common people? So we will have to think of new concepts. Now let us go further, and this is a picture that Anamika took, and it provides a very good metaphor for how to look for solutions that will meet the need that you said, sustainability. So as you see, these 4 ducks are moving in one direction. This one is not. She is my favorite. I like her. I love her. Because she has the courage to break the trend. Look for such ducks in your program areas, in your project areas. Look for people, look for communities, look for women, look for children who have the courage to stand apart. They are thinking ahead of the others. They are seeing far into future. They can see something that many of us have missed. So exception, oddball, somebody who's different, who has the courage to see far into future, something not visible to us, but that person is able to see that. We should look for such people. This need was never felt by this committee. There was a tree climber. This tree climber was invented by an innovator, Mushtaq, in Kashmir, north of our country. And this girl said, I would like to climb the tree. Culturally, girls were not expected to climb the trees. She said, I'll try. If you fall down, doesn't matter. Boys can also fall down. So what if I fall down? And this need suddenly got felt because there was a choice. Now there was a tool that made tree climbing possible. Not by boys only, even by girls. They have to climb the trees to collect twigs for a fuel, or leaves, or whatever. Next. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to change the context of the discourse on development so that the content of our conversation changes. You know, many times people say, bottom of the pyramid. Have you heard this phrase, bottom of the pyramid? Do you really think poor people are at the bottom of all the pyramids? Or are they at the bottom of economic pyramid? But what about ethical pyramid? Are they at the bottom? Are their ethical values worse than ours? No. They share more, they care more. They're more ethical. Are they at the bottom of the cultural pyramid? No, their culture is very rich. Are they at the bottom of the innovation pyramid? No, many of them are very creative. So language shapes the habit of thought. If you use the term bottom of the pyramid, you often assume that only economic pyramid matters. You don't look at cultural pyramid. You don't look at ethical pyramid. You don't look at innovation pyramid. And therefore, we don't look at what resource poor people are rich in. They are not poor in everything, they are poor in money. But they may be poor in, they may not be poor in kinship relationship, they may not be poor in generosity, they may not be poor in helping each other. In fact, in the multi-storied buildings, some of you may be living in multi-storied building. You may not know the name of the neighbor on the first floor, below you, on the left side or on the right side. True? In multi-storied building, you don't. But can you imagine a poor person in a village not knowing the neighbor? Not only they have to know, they have to exchange things with them. When guest comes and there is no food at home or there is no sugar at home, they borrow it from the neighbors. They have social capital. They are rich in social capital. We are poor in social capital. We are lonely. They are not lonely. So please appreciate that when we want to look for solutions, we must first change the definition of the poor. Poor person is not poor in all the resources that are required for development. They are poor only in economic resources. That's only one kind. You mentioned about cultural resources. They're not poor in cultural resources. They have their language, they have their songs, they have their dance, they have their craft. So rich. Most of you are wearing grays, browns, yellows, you know, simple, same color. Look at their colors. They're so beautiful, isn't it? Their dresses are very multicolored. And each pattern has a meaning in it. So how can we tell them that they are poor in culture? They're not poor in culture. Their language is more metaphorical. Their language has more metaphors than our language. So please appreciate that we are trying to change the discourse. So what are we trying to say? We are trying to say that in different work areas of UNDP, we have to look for sustainable solutions which can reduce risk, very important. For poor people, if you do not provide resilience in the solutions, they may become worse than what they were before our intervention. So resilience is a very high priority with poor people. Whatever you do, if you don't improve my condition, don't make it worse. Isn't it? So resilience is a very important characteristic of our intervention. We must pay attention to how to reduce risk, how to provide new opportunities, how to improve the access to the available resources. They don't know what services are possible which I can acquire from government. Many of them have never heard of them. You make them available, they can come to know. How do we create new resources? By repurposing, many of you gave example yesterday. Cocoa leaves are a good example. They were repurposed for so many other products. Same resource, which was not being utilized much earlier, suddenly became a source of enterprise, multiple enterprises. Or new uses for abundant or abundant. In cocoa, only beans were being used. Cocoa beans were being used for chocolate. Now leaves are being used. And they're given new opportunity, new job, new income. It was there, leaves were there earlier. They were not a resource, now they become a resource by providing new application. So inventing new resources from existing abundant or abundant resources. That's the beauty. That's the beauty. That's what we can do. And there are 4 ways in which we can learn from any innovation. There are 4 ways. One is artifactual. A person has used tire for making roads. I can use plastic waste for building, or tire waste for building walls or boundary wall. Same replication of similar design, similar process. That is artifactual. This for this. People are doing this, let me do that also here. So I transfer one experience as such to another place. Fine, that's also good. But as we will go along the 4 levels, you will see same innovation can become more powerful when I use it as analogic learning, metaphorical. They used tire because tires were available as waste material. What is available in my community as a waste material? Something else. Let me find uses for that. It is not tire for reuse, it is a waste material. Waste material in different communities are different. Some places biological waste, sometimes it is physical waste, material waste, sometimes it is plastic waste, sometimes it may be wood waste. Depends upon what. So I use metaphorical implication. Anything which is going waste, can I use it for a productive purpose? That is a metaphorical meaning. Heuristics, model of thinking. For example, I have to climb a mountain and the visibility is poor. I can't see beyond 2 feet, very foggy. What is the good heuristic? The good heuristic is every step I take should be upward and forward. I will reach the top. If every step I take is upward and forward, I will reach the top of the mountain even though I can't see beyond 2 feet. Heuristic is the mental model, is the underlying principle. That makes innovation even more useful. What is the principle? Let us say the principle was, I take a waste, use a furnace to mix it with some other material, and a new material is produced which is more powerful less costly. Now, I don't talk about this anymore. I talk about how do I combine two materials to produce third one, which is less costly and more useful. That's the heuristic. How to combine things in a manner that they become more useful. The tea that we take here, you have many fruits, many flowers. Somebody has done research on which flowers to combine. There are hundreds of flowers, not all of them are combined. This is a good heuristic, how to combine different things to create a better product, a better service. I will show you an example where there was a project in Colombia, they were putting solar lights. Somebody did something interesting, you have documented that. They put a repeater of internet on each pole. Now the lighting project became an internet coverage project. Combine two things. Same pole on which light was fitted, you also put a repeater for internet outreach. I'll show you that in a minute. That's a good way. That's a good heuristic. Can I use existing resource, blend it with something else, and make it more effective, make it more useful? The fourth is Gestalt. The Gestalt is combining all components of an ecosystem to make it sustainable. So there was this bridge. I don't know in Colombia you have root bridge or not, but in our country we have, in northeast part. So the communities, we asked them, why did you make a bridge of tree roots? You could have made it of iron, you could have made it of wood, you could have made it of concrete. What did they say? They say our need was to do something sustainable, something durable, all right? Something different, okay? What happened? This need led us to look at environment, and we found ficus species tree on two sides of the river. Ficus roots were hanging. They looked like rope. Looked like rope. Roots were there for thousands of years. Nobody saw them as rope. They saw them as rope. Technology. But this rope has to be pulled to tie each other with the stones. These are tree roots. It needs collective action. I can't do it alone. Institutions. And the tree roots, which take 50 years to make this bridge, it lasts for 200 years. There is no bridge that we make in modern science and technology which will last for 200 years. Correct? So, it uses, so science is like alphabet, words are like technology, institutions are like grammar, and culture is like thesaurus. Culture is a great resource. We never thought culture could be the prime mover of solutions, but that's what it is. It is the culture which raises the question, we have to do something different, we have to do something sustainable, we have to do something from local resources, we have to do something that we can do ourselves. That's culture. And this exists in most parts of the world. We have to invigorate it. We have to appreciate it. We have to acknowledge it. How do you think so much of forest, so many lakes survived thousands of years? People managed them collectively. So people know how to work collectively. That is not something new that we are going to teach them. They have known it for thousands of years. We have to work with these institutions. So it's a gestalt, it's an ecosystem of technology, institutions, culture, science, all of them have to be brought together. That is gestalt. So we have to be very important about governance. Many times we give less importance to governance and more importance to technological solution or economic solution. But to me it seems governance is the crux of the matter. How do we govern our resources, our relationship with people? how do we govern our ability to look for solutions? There are three kinds of rules. Can you go to the next one? There are boundary rules. Who is in, who is out. So whether a resource or a project that we are designing will be only for my community, or will I include the neighboring communities also? That's very important. Sometimes certain projects are not viable if only one community is there. You need a minimum scale for a particular project to succeed, isn't it? And therefore boundaries have to be redefined. My community is not the people who are related to me. My community is the people who feel the need for this change. Other communities who also need a good school, other communities who also need a good infrastructure, they are part of my community. So governance requires us to invest in boundary rules. If we don't change the boundary rules, and we continue to feel like I'm a member of only this village, or this community, this ethnic group, the project will not be sustainable. You will implement the project, but it will break down. So boundary rules are very important. Who is in, who is out? Who are the potential participant of the project? Who are the potential stakeholder in the project? Boundary rules. Resource allocation rules. Who gets what, when, and why? If there are 60 seats in the school, and I have got 70 children, what do? Will I keep the 10 children out? Will I increase the capacity of the school? Or will I create 2 different schools? What will I do? Allocation of resources must be compatible with the genuine need of the community. I cannot say, I have got resources only for a 60 children school. You have 70, that's not my problem. Of course it is my problem. Because otherwise, because of that 10 children, other committee members will not send their children to school. Because they are my brother and sisters, they are my cousin. How can I send my children to school and not their children to school? So it's very important that community structures sometimes have to be taken into account while defining the boundary and resource allocation rules. Sometimes resources are scarce. We should develop criteria by collective consent of who gets what. Investment in making rules of allocation. Don't say, this is what is written in my rules, my sanction letter, and I will do that. Please, these have to be evolved through negotiation and dialogue. I'm building a library. Is library only for children? No, one teacher said, I will allow the children to take the books to home, let the other siblings read it, parents read it, neighbors read it. Fine. You have brought solidarity. Same scarce resource now is accessible to more people, more children. So please appreciate that we cannot supply the entire need in all the projects. That is true. But we can generate rules by which people get it by turn, or different mechanisms can be developed for revolving the same resource among more people. Rather than meeting all needs of few and no need of others, that is not a sustainable model. Many times. Communities, we have to have optimal distribution. It is possible that conflict will arise while redrawing the boundaries or while determining the allocation principles. The resolution of the conflict may require modifying the boundary or modifying the rule. Conflicts resolution means negotiating and accepting the new reality. The new reality, which is not my reality, which is a shared reality, my and your, the community and myself. And a lot of innovations can take place. For example, you have fishing boat, and you want to allocate optimal time to each boat owner to catch the fish. Coastal fishing. Now, what is a good rule which will make sure that everybody has an equal chance? They may not get equal catch, but they should get equal chance. So you say everybody will be in the sea for 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you are lucky, you can get a lot of catch. You are not lucky, you will get less catch. But I cannot decide, you go here, you go there, because territory in sea, you cannot mark the territory. And the school of fish is mobile. Sometimes it is here, sometimes it is there. So boundary cannot be determined physically, but time can be determined. Not the space, but time. So this rule is a reasonable rule. Everybody will get half an hour. You go far, you go there, you go here. So you're understanding your skill. But it's a fair rule. Everybody is getting same time. There can be different kinds of rules that can be devised. In one community, they wanted to collect a plant called as St. John's wort. Some of you might have heard. This plant is used for people who go through depression or something like that. And it was growing on roadside. Now, community had a problem. Those women who were pregnant or you had young kids, they could not go very far from the road and collect the plant. What to do? They need to get livelihood. They need to feed their children. A pregnant woman must get nutrition. So they said, all right, those who can't go to collect, their job is to work in the shade and turn the plant for drying. You reallocate the task. Give them such task which they can do easily, and they are not excluded. They don't get less income. They get the same income. But they do a lighter work, a work which will not strain them and keep them away from the children. So we have to spend time in inventing these rules. That's what I'm saying. Innovation is required in rule-making process. I'm sure some of you must be doing that. For example, in Turtle project, you negotiated with the committee, okay, we can try to make it a tourism project. But tourism project will help you bring income, but turtles must be conserved. Their eggs must not be eaten. So sometimes you expand the scope of the project to bring the committee into the picture and devise these rules. Governance rules are, of course, important for managing all of these transactions. And you mentioned, some of you mentioned, it is not just the conventional leader of the committee, but women groups, or there may be children who may be asked to come together and discuss certain solutions. We seldom think children can be participants, but they can be very important participants. They can go and tell their people, their parents. Today we had a meeting in a school, and we were told that tomorrow we can bring all the plastic waste and they will not charge us fees. Our fees will be the waste we will deposit in the school. Parents will become careful now. Now they will not throw away the plastic. They will all keep it together to give to the children to take it to the school. A recycling project implemented through children and not through elders. Possible. We can do that. So it's very important that innovations in governance are given as much importance as innovations in technology, innovation in delivery, innovation in communication. I realized on the first day when we were discussing and one told us about the various groups, I think the most complex is the governance issue, because that's where a lot of contradictions are brought out. Next, please. Now, this is a very interesting model of innovation. I call it autopoiesis. This is important. So when I saw this tree, I asked this tree, what happened? The tree said, I'm not supposed to branch. By mistake, I branched. And I made that branch into a parallel stem. I said, that's very clever of you. He said, but don't you know that in your body, a lot of cells are going through mutation? When I'm talking to you, some cells in my body are going through mutation. Thankfully, either my body is able to reject them, replace them, bypass them, repair them, that I can continue to talk to you. Thankfully, they are not cancerous. This mechanism of autocorrection that my body has, that your body has, is called autopoiesis. If we create autopoietic potential in the governance structure, in the project that we design, they are self-correcting, self-improving. You mentioned about dynamism. Things are not static. Rules made once will not last ever. They will need change over time with new needs, new complexity. Build this capacity to revisit and audit the rules every few years or every few months and find out where the things are not working out. Let's modify. This capacity, autopoietic potential, can be built in the project for self-correction, self-design. This is what nature teaches us. This is what our body teaches us. This is what physiology of our body tells us. It is happening in my body all the time. It is happening in your body all the time. Why shouldn't it happen in the projects? That's the only way projects will become sustainable. Self-repair, bypass, rejection of certain rules, creating new rules, new mechanisms, new processes. Yes, please. Next. Now, this is a little complex, but don't get deterred by this. It's very simple, actually. There are two domains, domain characteristic or technological platform. If both are known, what technology will I use to implement a project, and what domain I'm working in, then incremental innovations will work. People know the domain, let's say health or education or infrastructure. If both are known, incremental innovations will work. If domain is known but platform is not known, I have to modify, create a platform. So you created that app, you created that app which made it possible for reading the report and understanding the meaning of that picture by looking at the app and somebody explains that to me, correct? Or the diagram. So this was the technology was not known like that. People thought report has to be read as it is written. Now somebody says, no, you don't follow the graph, I will explain to you. Just take your camera over it. Correct?
Not everyone knows that.
Okay, can you just explain?
Yes, thank you. And I will already start. Si hay preguntas, aprovechemos estos 13 minutos para ir haciendo preguntas. Entonces, ¿preguntas a alguien? ¿Tú? Sí, adelante.
Quisiera que me pudieras dar un ejemplo de la diferencia entre lo artefactual, lo analógico y lo heurístico, porque cuando empezaste a hablar pensé que lo artefactual podía ser como cuando hablaste de las llantas de los carros, para utilizarlas en un nuevo diseño. Para mí eso es como un reciclaje y pensé que era artefactual, pero luego me di cuenta que podía ser analógico. Estoy en lo cierto, ¿sí? O sea, eso sería analógico, tomar un artefacto y darle un nuevo uso a partir del reciclaje. ¿Sería analógico o artefactual? Ahí estoy un poquito como confundida.
No, you are on the right track. You're on the right track. Same innovation has 4 meanings. One is artifactual. Use tire waste and make road here, there, everywhere. Second is use it as a analog. Tire waste, making road. Can I use plastic waste to make a road or make some building? Can I use ceramic waste to make something else? So, analogy, example, metaphor. Third, what is the heuristic in using tire as for making road? I'm combining two different materials and producing third thing of value. I can combine different flowers to make a tea which is healthy. That is the heuristic. Nothing to do with tire anymore. And the gestalt is when I look at the technology, I look at the institution, I look at the culture, and bring them all together. So what led to tire being used? There was some agency which was collecting the tire. There was somebody who was creating a furnace. There was somebody who was giving a permission for making the road, because road permission requires government. All of these factors were put together. Now I'm replicating this constellation of factor. I'm not replicating just the tire use. So gestalt is when governance, sustainability, technology, institutions, all of them come together. That is a gestalt. So same innovation has 4 different degrees of depth which we can study. The more in depth we go, the wider is the scale of application. The domain of application increases from a very just infrastructure to a T, to a building, to a T, to a whole ecosystem I can create. That's the point. Thank you. We have a few minutes. Yeah, please.
There should be another one.
Bueno, esta pregunta tiene que ver es con el tiempo y es cómo reconocer una solución que supera el marco de tiempo incluso de una vida humana. Porque es muy fácil saber si fuimos exitosos en llegar a una solución en un tiempo determinado, pero, y por ejemplo en Colombia nos enfrentamos a problemas estructurales que llevan décadas o cientos de años, y por supuesto las soluciones pues no se darán en 1, 2, 3 o 4 años, que tiene que ver también con la inquietud que siempre tenemos de cómo enfrentamos problemas centenarios con soluciones de corto plazo. Y es difícil sostener una solución cuando uno no la puede ver, ¿no? O no la puede evaluar en un tiempo determinado. ¿Cómo sostener una solución que no vamos a poder ver nosotros en el término de una generación o 2 generaciones, pero que está dirigida hacia una solución a largo plazo?
So this is the database we built. For hundreds of years, there was no database of innovations. Nobody ever thought about it. People made dictionary of word. People made dictionary of medical terms. Nobody made dictionary or a catalog of innovations. We started 35 years ago in Honeybee Network to build databases of innovation. Then UNDP said, can you make a database for us? We said, yes. And therefore, you have, go down, you write, go up. Write sanitation. Write here sanitation or waste. Just write waste. And press. So, now you find different innovations that are using waste. Go further. Go further. Go further. Either they are using old parts, or they are using bio-waste, or they are using different. Go further too. So there are different kinds of pad, wasted pad of women during menstruation, a disposal system for this pad. Now this is becoming easier for you to search innovations in a fraction of a second. And learning becomes faster. I'm struggling with a problem. Where do I go for searching solution? So we have mapped 75 solutions that ACT Lab has documented. I'll send you the PPT. You can share with everybody. 75 solutions have been mapped by the ACT Lab of UNDP Columbia. We have downloaded from the UNDP platform. they will be shared with all of you. And we will show some of them today after the drill. Now, can we use these either as artifact or as heuristic or as analogy or as gestalt? Same solution. Please don't think this solution, what will I do with it? I am in the governance team. Think about the ecosystem that is managing that solution. Maybe there's a lesson in that. In the documentation, governance rules may not be documented. Only technology may be documented. That's where the new sensitivity is required in the office. That when we document sustainability issues, we document gender issues, we document governance issues, so that we can learn more from the same solution. This is not there today. In the database of today, we don't have all the 4 things. But eventually we can develop that. So it's very important, it's good that you asked this question as to how we can do things that have not been done for hundreds of years. Before Honeybee Network, nobody thought that databases should be in multiple languages, multimedia, multi-language databases. We tried to build that. So it is very important that historical inertia should not hold us back. What has not been done for hundreds of years, we will do it now. Whenever you are ready, please tell us. We have time. 1 or 2 minutes? Okay, so we will complete the discussion after the drill, so you should get ready for the drill. Please remember the pathways for going out. And drill is very useful for us to practice in the real case. We may not know our way out. We have done our drill and we know that some people keep looking for it. All right, so I'll briefly, we will have about...
Give them just 5 minutes maybe. 2, 3 minutes.
You want to write first?
That's better.
2 minutes, write it up, card. The unmet need of any community. For which you don't have a solution. You can write the app link of the app.
It's in the...
It is in the book. Show that.
It has a QR.
Show that. Show that.
El profesor Gupta está muy interesado que vean la aplicación. Entonces me dice que por favor miren, ahí está el código QR para que la bajen. ¿Vale? La segunda hoja. Ahí está la explicación también de todo el proyecto. Unas palabras de un consumidor.
Que yo ya la conozco y que es maravilloso.
Oh, she's seen it. Good. Once you finish, we'll start. Waiting for you to give a signal. All right, so shall we start? I don't want your attention to be on writing when I'm speaking, so finish. All right? Okay, so we were discussing about this matrix. When the domain is known, but platform is also, when the domain is not known and platform is known, we try to take the help of external experts. We go to the university, we go to the research institutes, we go to CIET in Kali, International Potato Research Center, or Tropical Agriculture Center. We go to the experts because that knowledge is so specialized, may not be available easily with us. And when both are unknown, I don't have a platform, and the domain in which the solution will lie for the problem I'm not sure, I try to look for disruptive, discontinuous solution. We call it a sanctuary model. In sanctuary, chaos is inside, order is outside. In incubator, chaos is outside, order is inside. Idea being that when you deal with complex problem, you don't have too many rules. You don't have SOP, standard operating procedure. You have to play by the ear. You try, find solution, try, find solution, doesn't work, try something else. Very dynamically recursive model, as we call it in economics. The feedback of one cycle of experimentation leads to next cycle of experimentation to next, till we find the solution. So it's very hands-on. Next. Now this is a bit complex, but I'm sure you will be able to cope with it. And I'll show you many examples from the ACLab database. So there are two issues in that the community level. The external assurances, whether my need will be met or not, assurances may be low in some region, high in other regions, or high for some other problems. And internal capacity may be low or high. Some communities have low capacity and the assurance is also low. They are indifferent, their apathy is there. They don't take much interest in what you're saying. They need to be given, you need to bridge the gap. So there we don't go for very high aspirational good. You have a material, can I help you to develop entrepreneurship model in it? I need to give you a little capital, a little technology, little assistance to close the gap. But when the external assurance is high and the capacity is low, I expand your need. You don't need just conservation, you also need tourism. I expand the scope of the project because I'm willing to give you assurance that we will help you if you want more, if you demand more. Your capacity is low, we're going to give you. When capacity is high but assurance is low, we sometimes we eliminate the need. Child labor. Child labor is a problem where community has less capacity to find alternative livelihood. We don't want to make child labor more productive. We want to remove it. We just want to eliminate it by giving you alternative employment. So children come to the school. We give midday meal scheme. We give food in the school so the children come to school for food at least. And we eliminate child labor. So there are certain needs which we don't want to meet. We want to eliminate them. Gender violence, we want to eliminate it. We don't want to reduce it. We don't want to modify it. We don't want to make it tolerable. We just want to have it out. So there are needs which need to be eliminated, not met. We are going to eliminate it and increase the capacity of the society to deal with it. When both are high, we transform the need. Quality education is one example. You have good capacity and you have my assurance, our institutional assurance. So we will say, all right, we will give you content, but bring the elders of the community also to teach. Teachers will not come only from outside. Teachers will come from the community also. A good carpenter will come and teach to children how to make craft out of wood. A healer will come and tell how to heal the animals or how to grow the orchard. So therefore, you transform the need, and all of us would together, community and ourselves together, try to meet the need. Next. Now let's look at some examples. So this is the example of ECLAB network database, where street lights were, solar lights were put, and you also added Wi-Fi repeaters so that public Wi-Fi is available in larger area in that community. Need has been enhanced. Originally they wanted light. We said, no, 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 not just light, we give you Wi-Fi also. Good example, where with minimal expenditure, no expenditure on pole for router, same pole for light is being used for router also. Next. So I'm just showing you that there are examples in the database of ECLAB. 75 such examples exist, which can be used for illustrating the things that we're discussing in this course. And we'll keep on using these examples time and again. So here is an example where need has been transformed. There was a bio-waste in different parks. Communities were not participating in it. It was difficult to manage individually. So collective in Bogota itself, up to 10 ton of organic waste has been recovered through community managed bio-waste units in public park. Amazing innovation, very good example. I have not seen that anywhere in the world, not in India, not in many countries, not even, and I have not come across US also doesn't have such. It's a good example, good innovation. The problem of waste was transformed into collective action, bringing community together. This instrument is a good example of increasing social capital. Next, please. Now, this is one example where the community knew that leaves were used. If you go to internet and ask and search traditional uses of cocoa leaf, you will find many uses that communities have. But they didn't know how to convert that use into product. That gap was there. You bridge that gap. This is a good example where a gap had to be filled up. Traditional knowledge was there, but entrepreneurial solutions did not exist. That solution was provided. Next, please. Now, this is very interesting. We had found a similar solution in Philippines. You don't have money to have data on your phone 24 hours. You are poor. What do you do? You can have 1 peso for 5 minutes maybe. What is the unit you call currency? Peso? Pesos. So 1 peso for 5 minutes, you put all your messages upward and download in the 5 minutes, correct? Your job is done. You don't need to answer everything immediately. You can answer it once in 24 hours. That's good. Very affordable solution. Good, bridging the gap. Solution existed, mechanism existed, need was there, solution was there. The gap was, it was not affordable. Now that you made it into peso unit of internet access, it became affordable. Even poor people got included. It's a very good example of inclusive development. Very good example of inclusive development. Many times, by scaling down the solution, it becomes affordable. I can't afford 24-hour internet. I don't need it actually. I need it 5 minutes. Good solution. Next, please. Some students have created a WhatsApp and a group for labor to be employed. A very good solution. A lot of people don't have job. Some people need labor, they don't find it. There are people who are looking for job, they don't find it. Connecting the two. Good solution, bridging the gap. There's a gap between demand and supply of labor. I'm looking for a plumber to fit my fittings in my tap is leaking. I'm looking for a plumber, I don't know where to find. There's a plumber who's looking for a job. This app connected the two. So many times solutions are there. Our role is to just connect them, bridge the gap. And we have improved the quality of life. So when we start searching for solutions, as Anamika would discuss in a minute. Please, next. This is another example of neat transformation. 100% compostable. In 8 days, this gets decomposed into, and a new tree can be grown. And those of you who work on climate resilience, 1 ton of carbon dioxide is reduced by each plant that germinates from the decomposition of these plates. Very interesting statistics, very interesting information. So you decompose, at the same time convert manure, manure leads to a new plant. Next, please. This is another example of solid waste being used for making blocks. Yes, next. This is a neat transformation. You can't give library everywhere. Can there be a mobile library which kids can access? And it is located in Bogota, but it has gone around the Colombia. I wish there were more libraries like that. Next, please. So now we will stop here. We go into the process dynamics of how to search for the solutions. And in a minute.
Hi. Is it heavy? A lot of things? So what we will do is we will do a little bit of theory, but more of practical maybe. So we are coming to the actual exercise of searching solution. Each one of you have a card in your hand which has an unmet need that you have identified, right? And we start by trying to find a solution to that. The basic assumption right now is there is no solution, right? That's why it is an unmet need, right? Because maybe we have not been able to reach to that solution. Okay? No, there was another one. Okay, it's okay. So what we will do is now we will go. Let me find out the ways to reach the solutions. So now, because after COVID, we have 2 lives, online and offline, right? We are living in a digital world, and sometimes we interact more digitally than with each other, right? So what are the online sources? Online, offline. So I will give one, and the rest can follow from the suggestions that you give. One could be search engines, like Google, Bing, or any other you want to use, right? DuckDuckGo, right? Now, second could be research papers. ChatGPT, of course. But if you have a paid version, it is okay. If you don't have, it will give you results till 2021. So we don't know what has happened after that, right? So then maybe YouTube or other Vimeo, okay? Then we have your reports with research papers. We can write the reports also. Any other? Social networks. There is one which patent search, which Professor Gupta will but this is a little more technical, so we will deal it later. Let us go with the easy ones first. Yes?
Skype, Zoom.
Oh yes, Zoom, Skype. So then you are connecting to people, right? So we are connecting. So it's a kind of a social plus professional network maybe. Now there we come to the offline modes. How do you search a solution? See, I understand that all of you are working with the communities. So you have a presence in the community. People know you to some extent. They may not be innovators, but there are communities. Now we will have to find how do we connect to them so that we can find more solutions, right? So one could be maybe I announce an award, a challenge award. Now that I know what is the problem is, I can define the problem and ask for solutions. It can be also a competition. They are more or less the same, but in competition you are like dealing with a group of people and they are competing with each other. For awards, you can also open it to other communities. In fact, for competition also. So they are more or less. Yes. Okay. Then depends. Challenge award. Yes. Then idea competition. Where I say that you can give me any idea. We can also open the idea competition for people who are not in the community. So because it is not always that we will find the solutions within our community. We should be willing to try anything that is available. And here we do it for children also. Can you tell me why should I give a problem to a children, or why should I ask a child to give me some ideas? Different way of thinking, yes? They do not know what is possible, right? A child can have wings to the car, and he or she is perfectly fine with that. So sometimes we need to expand our canvas of thinking, and outsiders or children or people who are not very formally educated, they give us a different perspective. Then, what could be another way? We can use existing networks. Networks like Teachers Network, Entrepreneurs Network, media, and voluntary organizations, or telecom, railways, agriculture. The idea is that at times when we think what is not available, we will now turn the table around and we will see what is available. And we'll find out a way in which we engage more with the community. Like, we saw a very good example of solidarity and good, you can say, administration, and with the security bill, you see, everybody could converge on a common purpose. Can we have, even if no, the whole city does not come, but can we have small communities where they come, discuss, and we find the solutions? Now, with all the problems that you have, you'll use your cell phones, you can talk to each other, you can change your place, go back to any person, that will be later. Yes, and you can find a solution. If you don't find, that is okay. We will expand our canvas. We'll go to different places in the building, different people, and we will also search solutions which they know, but the problem, it might not be related to the problem that you have. First is the problem at hand. So we will have maybe 7-8 minutes or 10 minutes to search for a solution to the problem that you have. Anybody who finds a solution will come to this corner where the food is there. Okay? Whenever you find the solution to your problem, please come this side. Okay? Thank you.
Solution cards.
I can give you the solution.
On the back of the problem.
You can give it, yeah.
On the back of the problem.
If they have, they need a card for the solution.
Or they can write on the back of the problem.
If they have space.
As I don't have enough of these for everyone, whoever has a solution, you can.
Okay. Okay. That's a good idea.
You can tell.
There's a goodie for those who find solutions.
O sea, ese es malentendido.
Minutes to search yourself, and then 5 minutes we should spend with each other and try to find solutions to the problems that we have. 5 minutes you can take for yourself, maybe go through the internet, change places, and you can turn your chairs and work with others. We can maybe have a group of 5, or just turn your chairs, please. 6, 6, 6. You can come together. 6 of you. Yeah, please turn. We have groups. We'll have 5 or 6 members in each group. So he has already explained that he'll be going to the people and trying to search out for the solutions, right? And in any case, it should be either the solution that your group is searching, or anything else, but a new thing, right? And how do we know it is new? We will find out in the next session, right? But you just capture whatever information you can and talk to people, even if they are annoyed, even if they are disturbed, even if they like you or do not like you, like we do in our field, you see. Not every community wants us to be there, but we have to do our work. So it is like a small practice of what we are going to do in the field. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
You see, the point is, on the first day, you all proved and shared so much knowledge that most of you might have not known, isn't it? We have to prove the same thing, that our other colleagues in the building also have solutions that we don't know about. And it is useful to create a new culture of discovering knowledge in the backyard. And let us try to find it out. Thank you.
Sé que pueden haber preguntas adicionales. Mi sugerencia es, relájense y véanlo así. O sea, vayan a buscar y a ver.
Hello. So we will have we will have your presentations, not a presentation, I will say, your the problems that you had found or sensed, or the list that you had, and also the solutions that you have found. We will go group wise, maybe. Which group should we begin with? From this side? Yeah. Okay. So first, we should hear every problem that has been reported. Though you may not have all the solutions, we understand, but we are not going to, like, we need to listen to the problems. Maybe if not here, somewhere else, we will come to know about a solution which will fit the problem, right? Sometimes we have the lock, sometimes we have the key, and we cannot throw either, isn't it? Yes.
Bueno, entonces el problema que yo tuve, lo trabajamos con Jenny, es el problema de gestión de residuos sólidos en el municipio de Mesetas. Es un pequeño municipio que ya no tiene a dónde llevar sus residuos porque ese botadero fue cerrado y necesitan manejar sus residuos. La población rural no tiene ningún sistema a disposición y quiere resolverlo. Y la opción es manejar y transformar los residuos plásticos. Sin embargo, el volumen que ellos tienen es muy pequeño para una transformación, que es la ilusión de la comunidad, y vender esos residuos en el mercado actual no da para tener una solución que sea autosostenible. Entonces tenemos ese problema. No tenemos resuelto cómo una pequeña comunidad puede resolver el tema de manejo de residuos sólidos, y ese es el problema de 900 municipios de menos de 30.000 habitantes en Colombia. Entonces no está resuelto.
No, so you can, one person can list down the problems, or if you want to go one by one, that is also okay, but we have only 6 minutes per group. So, whatever way you want to.
Gracias. Otro problema que encontramos acá dentro de los proyectos que manejamos con las comunidades que inclusive hacen parte de la implementación del acuerdo de paz. Comenzamos en el 2017, una de las brechas, y lo decía el profesor Gupta, es la oferta y la demanda. Tenemos la oferta, pero hace falta encontrar esa demanda. Entonces, dentro de las posibles soluciones online, offline, está utilizar estos canales de comercialización, establecer páginas web que directamente conecten, por ejemplo, la ciudad con la parte rural, pero también el offline es cómo a través de estas mismas organizaciones y estas comunidades establecemos soluciones dentro de la misma región, dentro del mismo sector, pues para sacar estos productos. Entonces, eso es lo que hemos encontrado, seguimos trabajando también en la construcción de esas soluciones, y pues para terminar, eso es. Gracias.
Yes. Any solution that you have found? Any solution or innovation you have found in the group or talking to others?
Sí, encontramos en el safari, ¿no? En el recorrido y en el grupo, pues diferentes formas de abordarlo. Una, pues, como lo decía, a través de la misma comunidad, de los mismos sectores, pero otras, establecer esos canales de comercialización conectándolo con nuestros saberes entre el campo y la ciudad. Entonces, y también generando herramientas, instrumentos para que estos emprendimientos sean sostenibles y a largo plazo.
Yes.
Hola, buenos días. Otra solución que estábamos viendo acá, estábamos tomando café, y algunos de los proyectos de reincorporación distribuyen café. Fui a preguntar cuántas bolsas por piso se consumen diarias 3 bolsas, pero lamentablemente no estamos consumiendo café de reincorporación, sino de la institución OMA. Entonces creo que podría ser una solución para poder, igual tenemos 20 agencias en Colombia, entonces creo que podría ser una solución.
Very interesting, yes.
Yo quiero añadir otra solución, y es que nos dimos cuenta que acá hay varias máquinas expendedoras y pueden ser oportunidades también para apoyar a los proyectos que nosotros pues acompañamos, y también pueden ser puntos de información de los mismos proyectos que a veces no sabemos los colegas cómo en qué andan. Entonces podemos visibilizar ahí tanto los productos que están sacando estos emprendedores, y también decir, si te interesa este proyecto, quieres saber más, puedes conectarte con tal persona que lo está liderando.
That's very interesting, and there's no extra cost to it. Very interesting.
Una última propuesta, pues
me surgió cuando estábamos recorriendo los últimos pisos. Por ejemplo, yo no conocía esa sección de ONU Mujeres, en donde es mucho más visible a través de la imagen y la ilustración como el impacto y la incidencia de su labor, y creo que unos murales parlantes del quehacer y de la gestión que hace cada una de las áreas u oficinas nos puede llevar a difundir también parte de estos procesos que venimos acompañando, porque a veces quizás no solamente la agencia puede ser el cliente o el demandante de estos productos, sino también uno lo puede ir escalando a otras redes que tiene pues en su vida cotidiana.
Very interesting. A big round of applause for our first group. Yes? Yes.
Bueno, entonces continuamos con las necesidades que identificamos. En este equipo pues identificamos varias necesidades, pero entre ellas destacamos una necesidad en una comunidad rural que hace parte del área de intervención de proyectos hidroeléctricos. Esta comunidad hace aproximadamente 15 años, o sea, estamos hablando de muchísimo tiempo sin dar una solución, fue reubicada. Fueron 12 personas, 12 familias, incluso con relaciones de consanguinidad, que fueron reubicadas del territorio donde se inundó a otro lugar, comunidades de mineros ancestrales que sacaban pues como del río su sustento día a día. Se entregó a cada familia 2 hectáreas de tierra con un proyecto productivo que era cacao o plátano. ¿Qué pasa? No eran agricultores, son mineros ancestrales. Ese proyecto no tuvo sostenibilidad en el tiempo. Entonces, habitan un espacio donde tienen 2 hectáreas de tierra y allí se da la guayaba silvestre. Se da en grandes cantidades, es algo que no se cultiva, pero que al cosecharse son grandes cantidades. Vienen carros desde Santander, donde se transforma la guayaba en bocadillo, a comprarles a ellos grandes cantidades de guayaba por mínimas sumas de dinero. Eso es lo que está dando como ciertos ingresos mínimos a las mujeres, sobre todo, porque los hombres dependen de la contratación social de esa empresa hidroeléctrica. No hay empleo, la comunidad está creciendo, las necesidades siguen creciendo y sobre todo temas que tienen que ver pues como con los jóvenes que se están yendo a otros lugares, que están cayendo pues en actividades que no son benéficas para ellos, y ese ha sido pues el problema, una solución que no se ha dado en el tiempo, y encontramos acá la oportunidad de la guayaba. Más o menos pues fue así como el problema, la necesidad. Planteamos entonces las necesidades que encontramos. Cami, tú vas a exponer como las necesidades, las soluciones.
Bueno, básicamente este problema en donde posiblemente las guayabas no sirvan llega a otra situación en donde no se tiene una tecnificación, no se tiene el INVIMA, los permisos para comercializarlo, venderlo libremente. Lo mismo nos pasa con otro caso en donde están los cocos con la coca, hacer un producto terminado de nuevo, no tenemos los permisos, no tenemos el producto, el empaque, etcétera, para comercializarlo legalmente. Es como un cuello de botella que estamos encontrando en varios sitios, ya sea por producción para sostener nuevas familias, ya sea por problemas con algún producto, ya sea… Hay muchos puntos que convergen en la falta de tecnificación para poder comercializar o poder generar un servicio o un producto y poder venderlo al público en general. Entonces, muchos llegan al punto, digamos, también estaban hablando de la panela, llegamos al punto en donde nos falta es los pasos y los permisos del gobierno para poder sacarlo al producto y poder venderlo y tener un ingreso. Pero muchos casos están llegando solo a este punto, se hace la inversión, se hace la tecnificación, pero en algún punto se está quedando el proceso y no se vuelve, digamos, una forma sustentable de producir o de vender o de mantener a la comunidad.
Aquí soluciones que encontramos de primera mano y que nos dieron, pues bueno, entonces transformemos la guayaba. Entonces un proceso de capacitación, sobre todo con las mujeres, que muchas son cabeza de familia, se hizo el proceso de transformación de la guayaba. Entonces viene el construir una infraestructura en zona rural, donde nos encontramos también con procesos burocráticos o con temas ya de las leyes, porque cómo procesos agroindustriales pueden tener permisos para funcionar en temas rurales. Listo. Uno va solucionando como una infinidad de situaciones que se van presentando. La empresa hidroeléctrica está dispuesta a comprar, por ejemplo, el producto terminado, que saquen un bocadillo de calidad, pero piden INVIMA, HACCP, piden 50.000 cosas y también pues ahí se genera un cuello de botella.
Y creo que otro punto que me gustaría que todos tuvieran como en posición era el tuyo.
Hola a todos. Yo trabajo con mujeres en proceso de reincorporación, es decir, mujeres que hicieron parte de la guerrilla de FARC. Y el problema que yo encontré es que no hay dentro del sistema de salud en Colombia una forma de garantizar atención en salud mental a las personas excombatientes. Eso es porque ninguna universidad en Colombia que forma profesionales en salud mental los forma para atender a personas que estuvieron en la guerra, sí, tal vez a víctimas y a personas que tienen problemas como nosotros y nosotras comunes, pero no a personas que vivieron bombardeos, minas, explosiones y demás. Entonces, digamos que la solución que yo pensaba tenía como 4 fases, y es la primera es que se debe generar una red académica que permita formar semilleros. Creo que
There's a problem with the device here. I can hear now. Yeah, yeah. No, again losing.
Paramilitares, pero en realidad ni en Colombia ni siquiera en Estados Unidos hay un sistema realmente fuerte y las...
Yes.
Ok. Listo. Entonces lo que decía es que en Colombia no existe en el sistema de salud una forma de garantizar esa atención diferenciada a las personas excombatientes que tienen necesidades en salud mental muy específicas. La solución que propongo tiene 4 pasos. La primera es generar una red de intercambio académico para el abordaje de la atención en salud mental a excombatientes que permita que especialistas de diferentes países y especialistas colombianos puedan formar estudiantes de áreas de salud mental como psicología, psiquiatría, enfermería y medicina. En este tema en específico, la segunda es identificar con los excombatientes las barreras que presentan para acceder a salud mental. La tercera es involucrar a personas excombatientes y formarlas para que se conviertan en agentes comunitarios y de esa manera puedan hacer una atención primaria de la salud mental a través del apoyo virtual, puede ser con plataformas como Classroom, Moodle o bueno, otras plataformas virtuales donde estos académicos los formen para que ellos puedan prestar esa atención primaria en salud mental. Y el cuarto y último paso es generar una app, una aplicación de celular que permita que los excombatientes puedan recibir atención especializada confidencial, que es otro tema importante, es que ellos necesitan confidencialidad porque no quieren contar todo lo que vivieron en la guerra a cualquier persona.
My question is, aren't there any such solution available already in Colombia?
No, no hay, no existe.
Because in India we have many startups, even startups like but for mental health there are ways in which people deal, and I will suggest that because training one line of medical professionals will take time, but your collaborations with overseas colleges, medical schools, and start it online will be good, because most of the mental health patients, to begin with, they do not want to confront any other person. So it kind of works for them if they talk to somebody whom they don't know, because then you are not getting judged. So we will also see, among these solutions, this is just a suggestion, we can see what can be started right now, right away. Right? Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, ok.
No, you have any.
Sí, la última parte era justamente crear una aplicación virtual para celular para que los excombatientes puedan recibir atención especializada con enfoque diferencial. El tema es que aquí sí hay atención en salud mental, pero no para los problemas de salud mental que ellos tienen, que son muy específicos de la situación de la guerra, ¿no? Y del hecho de que se hayan confrontado con el Estado, porque la guerra en cierto momento contra ellos involucró cosas demasiado fuertes, como los bombardeos y demás cosas. Y lo que pienso es que esa app se puede formar a partir de esos académicos de la red para que ellos sean los que presten la atención a estas personas. Por último, en el Safari encontramos inspiración en los compañeros y las compañeras que tienen diferentes estrategias para autorregular sus emociones. Entonces encontramos que algunos de ellos tienen velas en sus oficinas o cerca de sus escritorios para hacer aromaterapia cuando están estresados. Encontramos que hay en la oficina muchas plantas que nos ayudan a generar la conexión con la naturaleza, porque aquí estamos en un ambiente muy cerrado y ver las plantas al menos nos ayuda como a gestionar las emociones. Eso es todo.
Any
Gracias.
other from the group? Any other solution? No? Okay. So this group? Okay.
Bueno, rápidamente, uno de los principales problemas que seleccionamos en este grupo tiene que ver con la deficiencia en los temas de transporte fluvial en las cuencas de muchos ríos en Colombia, no solo el Pacífico, ¿no? En términos de que no hay un sistema que sea económico, que sea ambientalmente sostenible. Stop.
Yeah, because we were losing the voices.
Vamos a empezar de nuevo. Una necesidad insatisfecha fuerte en términos de transporte fluvial que sea económico, público y ambientalmente amigable en las cuencas de los ríos de Colombia. ¿Por qué es un problema grave? Porque se están, digamos que, afectando ecosistemas importantes en cuencas de ríos, pues, donde habitan comunidades en zonas muy apartadas, y el tema del combustible es muy costoso en esas zonas. Adicional a eso son motores muy ineficientes que de alguna manera hacen que el costo sea muy elevado y las personas no puedan movilizarse, ni cargan, ni muchas de esas cosas. En ese Safari, pues lo primero que nos encontramos es que hay pocas personas que nos puedan dar información real sobre ese proceso que se vive, solo lo vive una persona que esté en la zona. Entonces nos referimos precisamente a uno de los compañeros que conoce ese tema y le dio la importancia real, pero tampoco vio una solución posible. Pero nosotros planteamos tres soluciones a nivel de comunidad, a nivel institucional y a nivel político. Tratamos de ver cómo pudiéramos, por ejemplo, desde lo comunitario empezar a fomentar iniciativas comunitarias en asociatividad alrededor de comunidades, consejos comunitarios o resguardos, que sean los que se encarguen de gestionar sus procesos de transporte, ya sea una lancha, ya sea, pues, pero que sea de la misma comunidad para garantizar un transporte público, no privado, que ese es el gran problema que hoy en día pasa. El segundo sería, desde lo institucional, diseñar y experimentar con motores que sean eficientes y que funcionen con energías renovables, soluciones híbridas, con motores que funcionen con biodiesel a partir de procesos de descomposición de biomasa. Y por último, en el tema político, estuvimos viendo cómo es importante reglamentar ese sector en función de beneficiar a la comunidad, beneficiar el medio ambiente y parar un poco también todos los procesos que se llevan con otros usos indebidos de los combustibles en estas regiones. Básicamente esas son las tres opciones.
Any other? The community modes which they have used. Yes. Anybody else from the group?
Otro problema que planteamos es específicamente para una comunidad en Bajo Grande, en un municipio que se llama El Carmen de Bolívar, pero que se extiende a todos los Montes de María, a toda la región. y es puntualmente con el cultivo de ñame. En el cultivo se hace una práctica que se llama hollado, que es un hueco para colocar la semilla. Esa práctica es muy costosa, económicamente hablando, y también físicamente es muy pesada y daña la salud de las personas a través de los años. Existen unas máquinas que hacen el aullado para otro cultivo, para plátano, pero los huecos son diferentes y esa máquina ya comprobamos que no sirve y además es muy pesada y solo la pueden manejar los hombres. Adicionalmente estamos en zona de ladera, o sea, es maquinaria para zona de ladera, no comúnmente para zona plana. Dentro de las soluciones vimos en el safari que hicimos, que era algo que no habíamos tenido en cuenta acá en el grupo, es que los bolivianos son muy fuertes en maquinaria para zonas de ladera y que valdría la pena investigar si ellos tienen ya otras cosas en torno a eso. Y también a nivel local, conectarnos con las universidades de Córdoba, Sincelejo y Cartagena para ver si a través de tesis de estudiantes podemos conectar las comunidades, trabajar a fondo el tema realmente cómo es ese hueco, por qué la máquina de plátano no sirve y plantear un nuevo diseño para luego hacer prototipos y poder solucionar el tema.
Excellent. You have not only mapped where the possible solutions will be, but also trying to go forward with researchers, students, and try something new. It's very interesting. The next group, maybe?
Buenos días nuevamente. Nosotros en el grupo revisamos 3 problemas inicialmente y acordamos en uno que es transversal a todos, que afecta a todos. Es el acceso al agua en territorios dispersos, acceso tanto en cantidad como en calidad. Dentro del índice pobreza multidimensional, uno de los cuellos de botella que tienen las regiones que nosotros trabajamos es precisamente el saneamiento del agua. Es uno de los 3 puntos de los 17 que tiene, de los 5 dimensiones del IPM, es el acceso al agua, saneamiento, agua potable. Entonces, ese es el problema, acceso al agua en territorios dispersos para diversas poblaciones étnicas, indígenas, afros y población campesina, por supuesto. De las soluciones que vemos, tenemos uno que es un dispositivo, tenemos soluciones nacionales que hemos aplicado en PNUD y que se aplican también de otras instituciones y que están en el mercado también asequibles. Entonces, uno es el pitillo, la iStream, que es un pitillo personal que potabiliza el agua, ya se consigue inclusive en un center. Bombas de agua con paneles solares, también la hemos trabajado en varias regiones. Bombas manuales, lo trabajamos en un proyecto en Meta Chocó Guaviare, que era con la Universidad Nacional, que era sobre el Laboratorio de Innovación de la Universidad Nacional, totalmente manual, con tubos de PVC. También ubicación de pozos y acueductos comunitarios, se está apostando mucho en el territorio a los acueductos comunitarios, las comunidades subjuntas de acción comunal están manejando sus propios acueductos. Y tecnología para desalinizar las aguas en sitios cerca al mar. Y en islas como San Andrés, por ejemplo, Providencia, que se hizo ahorita un trabajo hace poco, el PNUD lo trabajó allá. Y el que más estamos de acuerdo, que hemos revisado también, es mecanismos de recolección de aguas lluvias. También ya se ha aplicado por parte de nosotros en varias partes. En el Guaviare, en un internado, tripliqué el agua, muy sencillo, pero agua disponible, no para consumir. Y el último es una máquina parecida a la que está afuera, que se está utilizando en unos colegios públicos del Meta, una vending machine, esa máquina, un dispensador, con agua potable. Ahí involucramos el municipio con sus colegios públicos, involucramos privados, que es el que coloca el dispensador. Él le regala los vasos a los niños y ellos por 200 pesos, que es algo muy pequeño, y igual el que no puede comprarlo, pues deja una caja para ellos y sacan su agua potable para que tengan agua potable a tiempo con estos calores. Ese es el
we felt the same while walking down yesterday. So there is no water point, public water point, from here to nearly like 1.5 kilometers. And that is something maybe you can take with the administration. And we hope next time we are around, we have a public tap here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody?
Nosotros también trabajamos en un solo problema entre todo el grupo, y es la dificultad de acceso a mercados para emprendedores, sobre todo microemprendedores, en zonas apartadas o en zonas rurales. Entonces, buscamos soluciones que atendieran particularmente 3 necesidades. La primera es diversificación del mercado en términos de aumentar la demanda de los productos o servicios de estos microemprendedores, llevar innovación, desarrollo e investigación a la región y cómo aumentar su capacidad de productividad o rentabilidad de estas unidades productivas. Entonces, dado que era un safari, nos fuimos a cazar especialistas y identificamos varias soluciones. Entonces, la primera es una construcción de redes de emprendedores que pudiesen hacer escalabilidad de soluciones para los diferentes negocios y empezar a aumentar la demanda. Hacer ferias locales para que se conozca, la misma comunidad conozca qué tipo de servicios y productos las propias personas de la comunidad están ofreciendo. Identificar líderes de las comunidades con habilidades o capacidades especiales. Por ejemplo, uno de los ejemplos que nos daban es de una emprendedora que, además de su negocio, que era una peluquería, tenía un café internet y tenía servicios de giros postales. Entonces eso creaba como un hub para la comunidad y que sería interesante identificar como estos sitios para escalar estas redes. La inclusión digital también muy importante. Y la transferencia de conocimiento, no solo en temas pues, técnicos de modelos de negocio y de construcción de elementos financieros, sino también de liderazgo. Para ello nos dijeron también que es supremamente importante, y ya lo hemos visto aquí, es esa caracterización inicial de las necesidades y de la población a atender, con el fin de pues, generar una dirección, enfoque y motivación para estas personas. Y finalmente, muy importante identificar habilitadores dentro de la intervención. Hablábamos mucho del tema de género, entonces en el cual si uno diseña una intervención enfocada a género, pues ya tiene habilitada al 50% de la población, entonces pues es un gran empujón para garantizar el éxito de la intervención. Pero también hay otros habilitadores, por ejemplo el tema de migrantes, o ya como lo hablaban los colegas en el marco del posconflicto, por ejemplo, también identificar necesidades de reinsertados. Ese fue nuestro mapeo de soluciones para este problema. No sé si...
Thank you.
Gracias.
Very interesting. And so we are at the end of the session. If you don't mind, we'd like to have your cards. We will put it somewhere, so that during the course, if anybody has found any solution to any of the other problem, we can take them forward, right? So if you don't mind, please give me your cards.
Also, what did they find is going around the office useful?
What?
Did they find going around the office useful?
Si les pareció útil ir alrededor de la oficina. They all answered very energetically that yes.
I can see that.
Did they talk to service providers? The sanitation worker, the canteen worker, the guard?
Si alguno de ustedes habló con personas que presten servicio en el edificio, las personas que atienden.
Please remember that many of them come from the grassroots. They come from the communities that you want to serve. So next time you get a chance, please talk to them and listen to them. It will do 2 things. First time they will realize that they have something to share. And you might find that they have good ideas because they come from the conditions that you are dealing with. So kindly try that next time. Thank you.